Daniel was charming and successful, but his heart was restless. One day, he met a vibrant young woman named Emily at a local cafe. Emily was a single mother, full of life and laughter, and Daniel was instantly drawn to her. They began a passionate affair, meeting in secret and sharing stolen moments of joy. One night, Emily invited Daniel to her bedroom. She was in her very seductive sleepwear. Daniel could not look away, his eyes admiring her charm and body. Emily got closer to Daniel. As he explores her neck with soft, teasing kisses, his hands roam freely over her body, tracing the contours of her curves and bringing her even closer to him. She responds to his touch, letting out a small gasp of pleasure, her body arching into him as she reaches for more. Daniel takes advantage of her reaction, cupping her face in his hands and capturing her lips in a deep, longing kiss, their mouths colliding in a passionate exchange. They continued and explored each other's body. Then they undressed, inviting each other to have a romantic intimacy moment. Daniel leans in again, capturing Emily's lips in a passionate kiss, their tongues dancing together. Their hands exploring each other's bodies, each touch bringing them closer to the edge of their desires. Their passion grows stronger, deeper, as their bodies move together in harmony, a delicate balance between give and take, pleasure, and anticipation. Days turned into weeks and then months. Emily's daughter, Lily, was also desperate for attention and hoping one day a man would be her lover. As Daniel and Emily's relationship deepened, Daniel met Emily's daughter, Lily. Lily was in her early 20s, just a few years younger than her mother had been when she had her. She was beautiful, with a spirit as free as the wind. Lily was also mischievous in her own way and also likes to be pampered. Lily tried hard to get closer to Daniel, calling and texting him every night. Lily also went to see and had late-night conversations with Daniel frequently in his apartment. Daniel will always warmly welcome her. One late night, Lily had an argument with Emily, so she went to Daniel's apartment. Lily asked if she could sleep over. Daniel gladly allowed it. Daniel was sleeping outside his room on the sofa. But the sleepover became a forbidden desire. Lily approaches Daniel, a hint of a smile playing on her lips. He looks up at her, his eyes widening in anticipation. Without warning, she takes a step towards him, closing the distance between them. Their bodies meet, melding together in a passionate embrace. They share a long, heated kiss, their limbs entwined, breathing as one. In that moment of intense intimacy, nothing else matters, only their desire for each other. Daniel then carried her into his bedroom, and they undressed. Daniel's hands explore her body, tracing the contours of her curves, his touch filled with a mixture of passion and tenderness. As Daniel continued to intimate with her again, passionately, she lets out a small moan of pleasure as his lips trail down her neck, leaving a trail of kisses in their wake. She responds by wrapping her arms around him, pulling him even closer, their bodies pressing against each other. They move in perfect synchrony, a dance of passion and desire, their hearts beating in unison as they surrender to the moment. For a brief moment, everything else fades away, and they are lost in the passion of their embrace. Daniel found himself captivated by her as well, and before long, he was entangled in a second affair. For a while, Daniel managed to keep his double life hidden. He juggled his time between Emily and Lily, convincing himself that he was in control. But secrets have a way of surfacing, and the truth eventually came out. Emily discovered the betrayal first. Heartbroken and furious, she confronted Daniel, and the pain in her eyes was more than he could bear. Lily, too, learned of the affair. The betrayal cut deep, and the bond between mother and daughter was shattered. Daniel watched as the two women he had cared for turned away from him, their trust forever broken. One day, when Daniel thought everything was over, he got a surprised call from Lily, and she told him she's pregnant with his child. Daniel was not too happy to hear it. Lily decided to give him a chance and asked him to be responsible for their baby. Daniel, not knowing what to do or expect, reached out to Emily, but she wanted nothing to do with him or the baby. Daniel himself was also facing some financial problems. So, he tried to avoid Lily as much as possible. Lily was devastated and heartbroken because Daniel didn't want to be responsible. He avoided her for years. One fateful day, when Daniel was walking home on the street, he met a homeless young woman sitting by the side begging for food and money, but he ignored her. Almost every day, the homeless young woman will be begging. Again, Daniel ignored her. One night, the homeless young woman, desperate and hungry, followed Daniel back home. He was annoyed by her, and he scolded her, telling her to stop following him, but she ignored his words. Until they reached his doorstep. Feeling frustrated, Daniel grabbed her arms, trying to push her away, but a photo fell out of her pocket. It was a photo of Lily and her. Daniel was curious and asked about the photo. Then the homeless young woman introduced herself as Amanda, and the person in that photo was her mom, but she died from a serious illness. Daniel's heart shattered into pieces hearing this, tears streaming down his face. Daniel then told Amanda the truth, telling her that he was her dad. Amanda was confused and shocked, not knowing how to react. She was speechless for a minute. So, from that day, Daniel took care of Amanda and offered her food and shelter. As time passed, Amanda left with a note saying she can't live with him anymore. She had tried, but the damage was done, and it broke her heart. She went on to start a new life of her own. Daniel was left alone with his regrets. He realized too late the damage he had caused. The thrill of the affair had blinded him to the consequences of his actions. He had lost 2 incredible women and had destroyed a family in the process. His own daughter, Amanda, didn't want to see him anymore because she felt uncomfortable with him as her dad. Years passed, and Daniel tried to move on, but the weight of his choices lingered. He often thought of Emily, Lily, and Amanda. In the end, Daniel learned that true happiness could never be built on deceit. The cost of his infidelity was too high, and the regret he carried was a constant reminder of the lives he had ruined.